Hello everyone and welcome back to the Witness channel and our little Chia experiment. So after a few very tumultuous days where one of the greatest living leading economists in the world with 72 million followers in the US alone said Bitcoin is a scam, I was busy selling all my stock to find out he doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah, so I'm very disappointed about this kind of leadership. But anyway, let's get back to the facts. Yeah, we had a downtime yesterday which lasted for roughly 16 hours because we had to resync our main node, which was a bit of a problem. I still haven't figured out what the actual reason was, but it coincided with a Windows update, so we will try to do the same again tonight to see, now that we have backed up our directory, so that we can just put the files into the other machine. But yeah, we will see how it works out. I'm very curious if it was just coincidence or if it really is something which is happening when you update to the latest version of Windows. That would be pretty bad. So nothing has happened significantly. Nothing significantly has happened over the last few days. The network growth has practically stalled since yesterday. Over the last 24 hours, there is no increase at all. What we see is still an increase in the number of nodes, which steadily seems to outpace the increase in net space. And that is verified by the number of by the amount of petabytes per node. So we now see we still have around 94 petabytes per node, so roughly 50, which isn't much of an increase. So still, I don't see the data centers coming up, but what we can see is when we look at the latest news. So what we see is Bitcoin has recovered a lot of its losses. So we are back to 38,000, which brings it almost back to the point where it was when our leading economists intervened. Where is Chia? Chia is standing at 550, so has recovered about $40 from its low. But what we see is the downward trajectory is still very, very valid. We had a new all-time low, which was around about the 510, 529. I think it was around about the 510 mark. So that is lower than the first all-time low we had after the initial going live, and now we are testing the 500s, which my opinion, I think it's still far too high given the 21 million pre-mined coins, and the traffic volume is very low, which means even a lower price doesn't entice people to buy. So that doesn't look, sorry, I'm just looking for something. So that doesn't look too good. But on the other hand, there are a few encouraging things going on. So what we can see is that on the top farmers side, there is Hpool obviously, and Hpool has now reached a new efficiency height. If you see that they own 35% of the net space, and their actually fetch in Chia is 34.65, which is pretty good compared to what they used to do in the last few weeks. So they upped their game a lot. The new software seems to seem to work, or does do the trick obviously, because if you compare it to the second one, which was always far above the Chia percentage, so they have 7.3% of the net space, and they are only marginal above Chia now with 7.5% of the coins earned. So well done, far close, very close to Hpool. So well done, Hpool. I'm not encouraging you, I'm just saying they did a good job by improving their rate of success. And you see there are a few which are standing out. Here we have a typical example, but there are some even worse. Where are you? Yeah, here we have a very bad example, and there is the worst one. Yeah, so you see, some people are more lucky than others. Now, it definitely is a point in how you set up your machines, how closely you watch your reaction times. So what we can see is that the top 50 represent about 60%, 60 plus percent of the coins fetched. And when you see that ones close to the end fetch about 12 coins a day, so 6 blocks, that means you can imagine what your chances as a solo farmer with 400 terabytes are. So they are not very high. Just to show you something which is going on in the outside world, so there are a lot of very critical articles at the moment trying to write down Bitcoin, and that is obviously a function of, in my opinion, more and more OPM coming into the market. So other people's money, that means opposed to what happened in the last few years when people invested their own money into Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. We now see more and more outlets set up which are competing with money or for money to invest into Bitcoins or into cryptocurrencies. And that obviously isn't something which is very appreciated by the people who run the show for OPM now. So what does other people money means? That means that you have feeder funds which actually buy stocks or any equity in the name of the original investor. So they don't invest their own money, they just play with other people's money. So what we can see or what we heard from Chia over the last weeks is nothing about pools, surprise, surprise, but we heard that the hard disk drive in Europe hit new all-time the hard disk sales in Europe hit new all-time heights, and that Chia rose another $5 million in venture capital, which brings it around about the 65-70 million mark over the last 4 weeks, which should allow them to operate on a stable basis for the next few months. I don't know about the burn rate from Chia, but I assume it's not very high, but I have not heard about them hiring thousands of people over the last few weeks. So everything seems to be settled. The project will go on, and we will see where it all ends up. So yeah, be aware that this is not investment advice. This is just some idiot talking about things he doesn't understand. But there is one thing which stands out. We have this very old joke on Reddit that what is the best way to make money out of Chia? And that joke is the answer to that question is sell all your equipment and buy Seagate stocks. And obviously there is some truth in it. Seagate has just upped its forecast, and they now expect to make 115 million more in profits than they expected to make. And what the essence of the forecast is that they expect stocks in Seagate to be very low until the end of the year, so they are not able to up the productivity or the supply, and that means prices will rise at least until June. So if you want to follow the advice of some investment gurus, then it might be a good idea to invest in Seagate stock. Okay, so that was a bit of a lighter note. Yeah, we will see how it all works out. I'm pretty confident we are up to something which will last for a few decades, and we will see where we all end up. I thank you very much for listening. Have a very, very good day, and please like and subscribe if you think my contribution is useful to the wider public. Have a good day. Thank you.